Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to stop after just one potato chip? Maybe you tell yourself you'll only eat a few, but before you know it, your fingers scrape the bottom of the bag. This isn't just a lack of willpower or a quirky personal failing, it's a global phenomenon. In fact, the average American consumes nearly 23 pounds of pizza, 48 pints of ice cream, and an astonishing 29 pounds of French fries every year. The world is awash in snack foods, neon-bright packaging, and the irresistible pull of salty, crunchy, sugary treats. But why is it that junk food seems to have such a magnetic grip on us, hijacking our intentions and rewriting our hunger? To unravel this strange allure, we have to look deeper beyond just the tempting flavors to the sophisticated science and psychology that make junk food almost impossible to resist. It all begins with something called the Bliss point, a concept coined by food scientists to describe the precise balance of sugar, salt, and fat that delivers maximum pleasure to our brains. Imagine an army of lab-coated experts in food laboratories, meticulously calibrating the sweetness of a soda, the saltiness of a chip, or the creamy richness of ice cream, searching for that magical ratio that triggers the strongest craving. When you eat something that hits this bliss point, your brain's reward system lights up like a pinball machine, releasing a flood of dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in love, learning, and addiction. This isn't accidental, it's a calculated science, a collaboration between neuroscience and the culinary arts designed to keep us reaching for more. The snack aisle is a monument to these engineered pleasures. From the gentle fizz of soda on your tongue to the perfect crunch of a cracker, every sensation is crafted to maximize delight. These foods are often easy to eat quickly, barely requiring chewing, which means the pleasure arrives almost instantly and the body's signals of fullness lag behind. As a result, you end up eating far more than you ever intended, swept away by the carefully orchestrated symphony of taste and texture. It's not just a product, it's an experience, designed to keep you coming back. But the seductive power of junk food wasn't always a part of human history. To truly grasp its rise, we need to look back to the early 20th century, when the modern food industry was still taking shape. At first, snack foods were simple: popcorn at the fair, peanuts at the ballpark, soda fountains in small-town pharmacies. But as technology advanced, food manufacturers began to realize the potential of mass production, clever branding, and, crucially, the science of flavor. The invention of the potato chip in the 1852nd was only the beginning. By the time post-war prosperity swept the globe, processed foods exploded onto the shelves, bringing with them new ways of eating and a culture of convenience. Behind the scenes, companies were investing millions into understanding exactly what made their products irresistible. They didn't just rely on taste testers. Psychologists, chemists, and neuroscientists teamed up to study consumer behavior, analyzing how packaging colors influenced buying habits, how music and advertisements shaped moods, and even how the crunch of a chip could signal freshness to the brain. Ad campaigns promised happiness, fun, and a quick escape from boredom, using catchy jingles and mascots to burrow into our collective memory. Over time, eating became not just about satisfying hunger, but about pleasure, reward, and sometimes even coping with stress or loneliness. This new relationship with food transformed society. Instead of 3 structured meals, people began to snack more often, grabbing something quick between work and home, school and sports. Junk food became a universal language, crossing borders and continents, and embedding itself in childhoods, friendships, and family gatherings. The science behind these foods, once invisible, was now subtly guiding our everyday choices, shaping tastes, habits, and even our sense of comfort. The real intrigue, however, lies in how junk food manipulates both body and mind. When you eat something loaded with sugar, salt, or fat, your brain doesn't just register pleasure, it creates a memory, a powerful association between the food and the emotional lift it delivers. Each time you return to that candy bar after a stressful day or reach for fries when you're bored, you're reinforcing a loop. Dopamine surges reinforce the habit, making it easier to crave and harder to resist, even when you're not physically hungry. This is known as a reward pathway, and it's the same system hijacked by gambling, social media, and even certain drugs. Scientists have shown that junk food can override the body's natural signals for hunger and fullness. Normally, hormones like leptin and ghrelin help regulate how much we eat. But the rapid pleasure delivered by processed snacks short-circuits this system. We're drawn in not by biological hunger, but by emotional triggers, boredom, stress, or simply the sight and smell of something enticing. This blurring between physical need and psychological desire leads to mindless eating, where you might finish a family-sized bag of chips while barely noticing the taste after the first handful. These foods are engineered to be easy to consume, melting away in the mouth or disappearing with a satisfying crunch. This vanishing caloric density tricks the brain into underestimating how much has been eaten, fueling overeating and the never-ending urge for more. It's not just an individual problem. It's a phenomenon that has reshaped the way we eat across entire cultures. As junk food became a fixture in modern life, its consequences rippled outward, affecting not just individual health, but whole societies. Rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease have soared in countries where processed snacks and sugary drinks dominate diets. The United States leads the world in junk food consumption, but rapidly developing nations are catching up, especially as urbanization and busy lifestyles push traditional meals aside. The statistics are sobering. More than 42% of American adults are now classified as obese, and childhood obesity rates have tripled in the past 4 decades. Yet, the allure of junk food is deeply entwined with the rhythms of daily life. In cities filled with neon signs and tight schedules, convenience reigns. Fast food restaurants and vending machines are everywhere, offering quick solutions for hunger and stress. Social gatherings, from movie nights to birthday parties, often revolve around a shared bag of chips or a box of pizza. Advertising bombards us with messages linking snacks to happiness, relaxation, and reward, reinforcing the emotional ties we form with these foods. Even as awareness grows about the dangers of excessive junk food consumption, changing habits proves stubbornly difficult. The ease, comfort, and immediate gratification offered by these products make them hard to replace, especially in a culture that prizes speed and convenience. For many, snacking is more than just eating. It's a coping mechanism, a ritual, or even a way to connect with others in a hectic world. Recognizing the damage, societies and governments have begun to push back. Health campaigns warn about the risks of excess sugar, salt, and fat. Some countries have imposed taxes on soda and junk food, required clearer nutritional labeling, or restricted advertising aimed at children. In schools, vending machines now share space with fruit baskets, and gym classes encourage active play. Meanwhile, a wave of clean eating, organic foods, and detox diets has risen, promising a return to simpler, healthier choices. Yet, even as these movements gain momentum, the grip of junk food remains tenacious. Old habits and deep-seated cravings aren't so easily unraveled. Many who try to quit or cut back experience withdrawal-like symptoms, irritability, fatigue, or an almost physical longing for their favorite treats. Some find themselves caught in a cycle of restriction and relapse, wrestling with the engineered perfection of foods designed to be irresistible. Stories emerge of people reclaiming their relationship with food, learning to savor real flavors, cook more at home, or discover the quiet satisfaction of a crisp apple instead of a bag of chips. These journeys are rarely linear, marked by setbacks and small victories. But each conscious choice, each pause, before reaching for another snack, is an act of resistance against an industry that has spent decades perfecting the art of addiction. Ultimately, the story of addictive junk food is both a marvel of modern science and a cautionary tale about the complexity of human desire. The same ingenuity that brought us the Bliss Point, the perfectly engineered crunch, and the dazzling colors in the snack aisle has also challenged our willpower, our health, and even our culture. It is a testament to how deeply food can shape our lives, not only nourishing our bodies, but also influencing our emotions, habits, and social connections. In the end, the question isn't just whether we can resist the next chip or candy bar. It's whether we can recognize the invisible forces shaping our cravings and make choices that serve our long-term well-being rather than our momentary pleasure. As we navigate this landscape of temptation, perhaps the most important step is not to demonize food or ourselves, but to become more mindful, aware of what we're eating, how it makes us feel, and why we reach for it in the first place. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for a bag of chips, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is it hunger, habit, or something else entirely? The answer might just be the beginning of a healthier, more conscious relationship with the food we eat every day.